Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Dennis and as you probably know I'm airline pilot and today we're going to review the flying wing concept, so stay tuned. As we know, the aviation industry was very young, so a little bit more than 100 years ago it was the first flight. Now the aviation, the commercial aviation, the military aviation is developing very fast, but so far we fly these tubes with the wings, but some companies, some of the developers trying to build the V-shaped airplane, the wing-shaped airplanes and try to implement them to commercial aviation. And for my own opinion, for nowadays and for many decades ahead, we will not see those airplanes flying around. And now I will tell you why these concepts are not so good as they promised to be. Alright guys, let's review the first project. It's sponsored by KLM and it's V-type airplane, so it's V-shaped airplane. Also it has the flying wing design. And let's review it. We have some kind of NBC News report about it. Well, let's start viewing it.
This futuristic Flying V airplane concept puts the passengers inside the wings. Instead of a central fuselage, the plane's cargo holds and fuel tanks would also be incorporated in the Flying V's wings.
Are you sure that the fuel and cargo holds and passengers will be incorporated to these wings? Flying wings machine, well actually what they did is they took the fuselage and did like this. Split it into two. I'm in great doubt that this maneuver will reduce the aerodynamic drag, and also the subsonic aviation that we fly now, all the jet airplanes, they should have very thin wings to be able to fly at normal speeds at up to Mach 8.2 or 8.5. So this part of the wing is quite real. It looks similar to Boeing 737 and G actually with its winglet. So the wing should be like this, thin. It should be very thin to provide good airspeed for the cruising flight. Otherwise this airplane will be very slow. Also my friends, the thinner the wing, the thinner the airfoil, the less vulnerable it will be for ice excretion, for ice accumulation. And the wider the wing, like here, the more ice we'll have there. It's the basic principles. I don't know, we don't see any anti-ice system or de-ice system installed on this part of the wing, but based on my experience, my friends, I used to fly the ATR with wide profile, with wide wing, because it's low-speed airplane. The lower flight, the wider the wing you need to provide the adequate lift force. So for ATR, it was the icing was very crucial. For Boeing 737 with this type of the wing, with very thin wing, the ice accumulation is very low comparable to ATR. What I see from this perspective is that this wing should be very wide, so it should contain the adult person who is walking there through the wing. It should contain the fuel, it should contain the cargo and the baggage, because you cannot store a lot of fuel in those tiny wing tips over here. It's like on the Boeing 737 where the fuel tanks located in the wings have a much less capacity compared to the central tank, which is in a wing root. But here I don't know where to put the fuel, actually fuel, cargo, everything in the wing, so it will be very wide. And also you board the airplane from your left. It's a usual thing, so the passenger should walk through some kind of the corridor to other, so it's like two fuselages, so they should find a place. So it may take time for the passengers to board this kind of strange airplane, so the boarding itself may be changed. And also we have the boarding, the loading of the cargo and baggage from this side. It's like in normal airplanes, like on Boeing 737, where you have big doors from your right and you just load the cargo from one side to cargo compartments. But here I think you should load from this side, and also you should go there and interfere with the bridge to load from other side. But if you have bus, for example, not the bridge, but passengers will be delivered to you by bus. I don't know how to make all these ground facilities, how to make the ground handling of this airplane. But let's continue. It's not over.
Distance air travel more sustainable. The Dutch airline KLM announced that it would team up with Delft University of Technology to develop the lightweight, fuel-efficient aircraft. Foregoing the fuselage, as well as the tail of the conventional airliner, would cut the plane's weight and reduce aerodynamic drag, resulting in significant fuel savings.
Okay, let's stop here. You see, my friends, as usual, passengers will just walk through that bridge to the airplane, so they should be placed somewhere here in this part of the fuselage, and then the part of them will go to other part of the fuselage. But it's okay, we can handle it with different procedures, it doesn't matter. But the cargo loading, it will interfere with all this, stuff happening on the left side. It's non-standard, but you can also handle that. Maybe in future, it's not routine, but you can change the procedures. But these engines you may not have changed because it can be shadowed by this huge fuselage, because it's a big panel that can shadow, that can cause these engines to stall at high angle of attack. And that is what I think is the main problem of that airplane concept. So these engines may just stall, so you need to take some kind of different air intake for that engines, like in B2 bomber airplane, and we're gonna get back to B2 airplane a little bit later, but now we're discussing this flying wing concept. So that's the big problem.
The plane should consume 20% less fuel than an Airbus A350. But not everyone is convinced that the Flying V concept will work as envisioned. R. John Hansman, a professor of aeronautics at MIT, said similar proposed designs had run into problems. And reinventing the airliner represents an enormous challenge given the demands faced by the world's dominant aircraft manufacturers.
So to invent this airplane, you need to invest a lot of money to this concept. It's not like a KLM can invest money to some kind of research and they will just build this airplane. No, you need billions and billions of dollars. And who will invest money to this strange kind of project that I told you about this? It's not ideal, you need to have good investments. So it's better to talk to people who know what to build and how to build. We have those efficient planes right now, so it's better to update them, upgrade them, to make some kind of different aerodynamic design. That is what the Airbus and the Boeing, that's what they are doing right now. Pam pam. Guys, I've just found that Sam Chui was visiting that factory actually where they designed this strange aircraft. Let's see what he's saying. Have real engines?
Look at this, a very unconventional futuristic design of the airplane. A V-shaped fuselage, engine mounted at the back, not those round fuselage conventional design. Is this really a realistic idea, or this is just someone sci-fi idea on the drawing board?
This is very much a realistic idea for a new...
As far as I know, they haven't built the real one-to-one scale airplane. They have just these models.
For the design.
What about the real airplane, guys? One-to-one scale.
We're using the engine from the A350, so that's a big turbofan engine that runs on kerosene. That 20%
they just design it to be with the engines like in A350.
From the aerodynamics and not from an...
Oh, this is a different model. Guys, you have a different model, the bigger one there. It is big one, not as this. Okay, let's see.
That runs on kerosene.
Yeah, this one is a big one.
20% reduction comes purely from the aerodynamics and not from an improved engine technology. So the unconventional V design...
It's different. This big model on the back is different compared to what they show in this graphic. Okay, this one, the big
reality one takes off.
This wing is more or less okay, I would say. Still, the engines may be shadowed by this huge fuselage wing, but it's more efficient. But I wonder where... Okay, you may store the fuel up here or down here. You can store passengers, but this wing is narrow. It's very thin compared to what we've seen before. So this one is very thin.
Will still take quite a long time.
And I'm in great doubt that you can put the adult person with all they hide there. So maybe you can just scroll there, but not walk. If you may walk there, this airplane will be very, very big.
So we hope
for
that
that.
in
Bigger
between
than the biggest
2035 to
airplane.
2040 that the full-scale design will be finished, where the
This one
passengers
won't
can
fly.
then go and enjoy.
What? Oh, sorry, my friends. When I was young, I was making those airplane models, so I was painting them, I was building them together, and seeing this stuff quite hard for me. Guys, find the other model. But who done this? Oh, terrible.
The Flying V. But for the moment, I invite you to go and check out we have a mock-up of the full-scale cabin, so then you can also see where what's the passenger experience in that new cabin.
Okay, you just go to the cabin, compartment. Wow, futuristic design, CGI.
Now the one thing
Nice.
you're not seeing, which is our centerpiece, are the staggered seats, which make sure that you sit in the direction of which you fly.
Okay, they want me to sit in those seats for several hours. The average flight for Airbus 350, I think it's not less than 6 hours, so I should sit there for at least 6 hours flight. Or the stables are fine, but you cannot put them together. I think it's a first class maybe. What are the real seats? Okay.
You can slide under and be very comfortable.
Very comfortable. No, it is
You
not.
can sit up normally, or you could even stand and lean for a bit.
Ah, okay, you can stand and lean.
Because the number one priority is change your position.
Yeah.
Every hour, change your position a bit. That way
Maybe,
you don't
but
get
I see
Yeah. And then, 'cause you
it
see,
shouldn't
like,
be very
you have a
comfortable
lot of
from what
headroom
I
to
see
utilize.
here.
you have headroom to utilize, and you have room underneath in this position.
And this is actually
Oh, this is good.
3 beds. And it
The beds
appears,
are fine.
in research that 60% wants to sleep on a long-haul flight. So we were thinking, how can we enable that? So with
So they
these
have
3
different
beds,
concepts
we
of
can allow free
where to put the passengers on this flying wing airplane. Yeah, my idea is to put this kind of beds. They're very comfortable, and you can put them like bricks, there, and you just can scroll and go to your bed and lie down there, and that is how you can make this wing more thinner, I think. But you cannot walk in that wing, otherwise it will be very wide, my friends. The wing root itself, it may be wide, but the rest of the wing should be very thin. Just look at the Airbus. If you open the photo of every Airbus 380, you will see that the wing root is very wide. Yes, you can maybe even walk there, but the wing itself, it's very thin. The wing root is wide because it needs to have to sustain the weight of the wing itself, the weight of those engines. But other than that, wing should be very, very thin as possible.
So therefore, the lowest bed
Okay,
can be 4.
I think it's enough for you to understand what they are doing. Those maybe students, I don't know. Sponsored by the airline KLM. KLM, now we have the crisis. Try to save your employees. Try to invest money to your own airline to improve it, to extend the network or something. It's just my advice. But who am I? I'm just a pilot blogger. Let's go to the other airplane. We have Airbus developed Maverick. Cool. Nice concept. And they have the flying machine. Not big one, but it flies. Okay, what we have here, they're not putting everyone into the wings, as we can see. We have normal wings, and I think it's much better than what we've seen before. It's not V-shape, however, but it may be used also as the cargo airplane, as far as I think, because you can put the ramp behind and you can load some kind of vehicles there, even military ones. And also you can put here some kind of the windows and put the passengers there. I think this one is more realistic. However, they have the same problem with what we've seen before with engines, because they may be shadowed and they may stall with this fuselage or at a high angle of attack. So they should have some kind of different air intake. However, this plane flies, at least the model of the plane. I think it's more realistic model. because it's developed by Airbus. So they fly. Radio control. I hope I will not be banned by that music on the background. So they have aerodynamic tube, nice. So maybe they know something. Maybe at some kind of the speed, the airfoil goes just into the engines because it has very nice wing type shape, the nice airfoil. So I think it's better concept than what we've seen before. I don't know why they left those fins at this model, because you can actually realize it with the controls on your wings. You can realize the roll control, but it's just extra drag. But maybe they know something and they put these fins, the vertical stabilizers and maybe rudders there. But I like this one. I think for this cabin, this airplane should be very big. It should be as big as Boeing 747. But you see, they have some kind of place where they may put the anti-ice system. It will not be so much ice excretion here on the nose of the airplane and here at the wing root, let's say. So I think for regular types of flights, this airplane, this concept is more realistic. And as I say to you, you can put the ramp here and load some kind of cargo. So it may be perfect airplane for cargo flights. I will give this airplane 4 out of 5, and for previous one, the V-shaped flying wing design, I will give 2 out of 5. And let's see the real airplane, the B-2 bomber that actually flies in our skies. Pam pam. Alright my friends, here's the video of B-2 bomber ground handling, and also they have some flights. You see these hatches here? We'll talk about them later. So they have a place for those bombs in the central part of this fuselage. And that is the most expensive aircraft ever built, guys. More than $1 billion for one. It's terribly expensive. Terribly expensive. As you can see, they have the air inlets for the engine from this side. At first, guys, I thought these hatches are reverse deflectors for reverses, as you may see on some of the Airbuses. But here they have the other operational reason, and I will show you what reason do they have later. As you can see, smooth shape, and this is supersonic aircraft, so they fly at several Machs, but they have specific reason to be shaped like these bombers, and then they take off. So as you see, they take off with these hatches open. At first I thought it's, as I said to you, it's a reverse thrust, I thought so. Then I thought it's like speed brakes or something, but then I saw that they take off with this enormous drag, because these panels, they provide a lot of drag for that airplane. So, but they fly with it. And the purpose of that hatches is they deflect the airflow into the engines, because the air intake here for the engines, it may be shadowed by this wing itself, so the engines may stall at high angles of attack. That is what I was talking about the Airbus model, flying wing model, and the KLM V-type flying wing model. So they have special hatches that direct the extra airflow from the top to let the engines not to stall and working properly for this purpose, for the takeoff. And as you can see, the pitch angle is very low, also I think for that purpose. They take off with very low pitch angle. Nice. Great looking airplane, no doubts about it. But to develop this airplane and to build it, you need a lot of money, billions of dollars. Alright guys, and here's the B2 scheme, where you may find different compartments of the airplane. And here you can see the normal force elements that provide normal construction of the wing, because yeah, if you put passengers here, how would you provide the wing stability and wing strength? You know, that is what I was not thinking before for this KLM V type flying wing airplane, how they will provide the strength of the wing if there will be just the space for the passengers. So here we have the airfoils, the elements, longerons. Normal design is for usual airplane, and also it's like a normal airplane. They have two engines, I think maybe four. I'm not very familiar with B2. So you have normal fuselage, compartment for your bombs, and cockpit in the front. So it's like a normal airplane. As you can see here, we have secondary air intakes. The secondary air intakes are those deflectors that help the engines to have enough air for the takeoff, I think. Then they gain Mach 0.4, those deflectors close automatically, and the airfoil will just go from the front part, from the leading edge, straight to the normal air intakes. But for landing and for takeoff, they use these secondary air intakes with those deflectors. And this airplane is a wing type airplane because to minimize the radar surveillance for this airplane, so they can fly at a very high altitude, go somewhere, drop their bombs without being identified by their enemies, and then go back. So that is what was the purpose to use this design of this airplane. As you can see, we have square shapes, round shapes on the top of this airplane, but you don't have radars on the top, just satellite system. So you may have this round shape on the top of the fuselage, but bottom and this size of the airplane, they all square type. And the wing of this airplane is very thin. As an usual airplane, it's supersonic airplane, so the wing should be very thin, and it will provide the normal airspeed for the cruise flight. Also, they have the fuel tanks, as far as I see, installed in the wings, so it's like a normal airplane. So those wings should be thin enough for you to fly fast enough. So my friends, it was my personal opinion and my personal look on these flying wing concepts. And don't trust me, trust professional designers of the airplanes. I'm just a pilot, but I have common sense in aviation. So don't call me hater, maybe I'm wrong, and those concepts will evolve into something really efficient, cheap, and it will open the new chapter for commercial aviation. But I just have doubts about that. My dear friend, if you have watched this video up to this moment, you are an awesome guy. And that is why you may follow the awesome guy checklist. It is a very simple thing to do. First, you just need to like this video, then you just need to hit the subscribe button, and then you need to hit the bell, ring the bell, whatever it means. And thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great time.